Hello there, and welcome to the War Factory for today, December the 20th. Wow, just lost a whole month, just like that. So, with the War Factory this week, we're back to the Feast in the East, and I figured, okay, yes, I could just snake right up through the base with my Zookas, blow things up, probably pull it off in like one hit, maybe lose a couple of Zookas here or there. But there are a lot of rocket launchers and lasers and stuff around that HQ, kind of like they're, you know, trying to make it harder to do something like that. But I still got my Rainmakers, and I figure, you know, every time I've got a prototype weapon come War Factory Day, I have to make use of that prototype weapon. I gotta do it. You know, it's something a little bit different, something outside of what I would normally do, and, you know, sometimes something like that is it's just fun. Now, with Barrage being nice and cheap, I know last week a bunch of people were saying, oh yeah, like, you can just barrage the core down and you don't even need to land troops and everybody lives happily ever after. That may still be possible on this HQ. I'm not 100% sure, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even check because, I don't know. I don't want to do that. I feel like that's almost a little boring as something. So, the problem with using the Rainmakers over here on the right-hand side of the map is, of course, there are grapplers all over the joint. And grapplers are the arch nemesis. Nemesises of the Rainmakers, which means, of course, you can't just land on the right-hand side of the map there and push on in, because you're very quickly going to find yourself out of the Rainmakers. So, to combat this, what I decided to do was land down on that corner where you saw I kind of dropped my troops, farm up this left-hand side of the map, really just trying to get energy that I could then dump out with my nice cheap barrages all over the grapplers, because no one likes grapple sauce on the Rainmakers. So, as you can see, I'm just slowly working my way through, but the trick of this strategy is the Doom Cannon you can see almost right in the middle of the screen there. Well, more to the right of my screen now. That Doom Cannon has range almost on like pretty much the whole beach. So you can see I'm being very, very careful. Oh, did it turn? No, it hasn't even turned yet. That's perfect. I'm definitely keeping a really close eye on that, because let's face it, I've got the entirety of the max allotted amount of time, because that's how long this attack has to go, because, you know, the Rainmakers, they might be able to outrain everything, but man, they are slow. Like, painfully slow. I actually was attacking a player base earlier this week, and they were all just kind of sitting there, and they were getting hit by a rocket launcher or two, and they were just sitting there, and like, nothing was changing, nothing was firing. I actually thought the game might have bugged out, because it felt like much, much longer in between barrages of Rainmaker mortars than what I would normally expect to see. But they eventually kicked in, like, joined in the fight, and I don't know if, like, who knows, maybe my connection lagged out and they were just like, nah, we're gonna sit here and do nothing. Not really that worried about it. In the grand scheme of things, obviously, they do normally work, and they do what they're supposed to do. It's just the odd time you get something quirky. Now, after doing all this, obviously, I wasn't able to completely down the grapples, because, well, they're there. However, I was able to get them close enough that just with a couple barrages and arts and whatnot, I'm able to clear those bad boys out and then dump all of my troops right down in the very bottom corner. Now, yes, the rocket launcher is going to be doing some bad things, and yes, that one sniper tower down on the corner definitely has range on my troops. Maybe more than one. There might be like 2 sniper towers shooting, I don't know. But the point is, with just a med kit and like parking yourself in that corner, it gives you the perfect toehold to start moving out and start blowing things up. And like, once the grapplers are gone from this right-hand side, honestly, there's not a lot to be afraid of. Like, eventually, once you clear that beachhead, there's some rocket launchers that are going to hit your troops, which is why you have a couple boats of medics, because, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. But nothing scary until you get right up next to the core and you run into all the boom cannons and things like that. But that's a long ways away. Like, this, as you can see, is just kind of like rolling through, blowing things up. I'm not trying to direct them. I don't expect to finish the base this attack. What I really want to do is be as absolutely careful as possible, because apparently last week I got a thumbs down because I lost too many troops, even though, you know, the whole point of the strategy was kind of to willingly lose troops and, you know, just muscle push through it as opposed to trying to strat. So this week I wanted to, you know, balance that out, make sure that I didn't lose any troops, and obviously take down the war factory and have some fun doing it with, you know, something different than normal. Now, because I'm letting the Rainmakers in this corner farm up a whole bunch of energy, what this does is allows me to take care of things that just kind of scare me. So, for example, boom cannons, not that scary. I can normally outrange them with my Rainmaker unless, you know, one particular Rainmaker does something silly and, like, moves into range. And it's close, it's on the border, and you really have to be careful. But don't waste your energy on the boom cannons. Instead, there's a doom cannon, and yes, you can outrange it. No, it doesn't need to die, but if you're trying to be safe and you're just trying to be paranoid and you're trying to make sure that you're not doing anything horribly wrong or going to lose a Rainmaker or two, by all means, bomb that bad boy right into oblivion with the nice cheap artillery, or nice cheap barrages, sorry. It takes a couple barrages and a couple artilleries, and that doom cannon will go down without ever getting even close to any of your troops. Now, if the lasers start shooting on you, that's cool, as long as it's like 1 or 2 lasers. If you find your troops have kind of shifted up into the range of, say, like 3 of the lasers, be afraid, reposition, get out of there, do something, but don't let those lasers go through, because with the medics all hiding right behind the Rainmakers, the lasers will, if there's more than one, do a bunch of damage to your medics, and then your medics are going to spend the whole time trying to heal themselves and forget about healing the Rainmakers, and then the laser will eventually burn down your Rainmaker, and that's not cool. You don't want that to happen. That's not Our Lady Gem. Now, all of this being said, as you can see, I timed out again on attack number 2 because Rainmakers are slow. And that's okay. Not everybody needs to be fast, right? So, land all our troops one last time, go over to the far right-hand side, and, like, you know, if you don't know how this is going to end, I'm not going to tell you because it's going to be a nice surprise, but I'm going to win. And I'm going to win easy. Because at this point, because I've taken out so many buildings, the HQ is at like half hit points, and while they're not fast, boy howdy, do those Rainmakers ever know how to bring the pain. So, as you can see, I just kind of let them go and start bombing the HQ, and then I thought, you know what? This is too easy. What I need to actually do is a good, healthy round of Spare the Core, just because. And I actually started to do that. I kind of repositioned. I figured also, you know, it might be helpful for anyone who is farming up energy to take out like that Doom Cannon closer to the HQ, to really show how close to the Doom Cannon on the left-hand side of my screen, the one we were already kind of skirting around and avoiding. Well, I wanted to show how close you could get on this right-hand side, and how much of the stuff down near the beach you could farm up before you had to, you know, call it quits and run away. Unfortunately, while I was doing this, someone came to the door, and it was right about here when everything started to go sideways. So I very quickly threw a flare, smoked my way out of it, and just let the Rainmakers finish this map off while I was answering the door. And it worked out pretty good for me, so I'm hoping it works out just as good for you guys. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it's been entertaining. And above all else, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. And a Merry Christmas. Ho! Ho! Hello there again. Sorry, I didn't take into account how long everything would just kind of be sitting there while I was away at the door answering the door. So the game kind of sat around after I left and just didn't do anything. That being said, I wanted to take this opportunity to very quickly remind everyone that the Quest for Boom Beach Supremacy draft is happening on the 26th of December. In the evening, I'll be live streaming the random picking of a bunch of teams, and then, you know, we kind of jam them all together so that they can fight to the death. Alright, well, maybe not the death, but, you know, fight for something.